everyone, this is a video that I originally made on TikTok, but I decided to make a YouTube version so that people who aren't on TikTok can access it. This is types of teachers when you have tics. Can you do that quieter? If it was that simple for me to just do my tics quieter instead of yelling and screaming them so that everyone stares at me, I would have chosen to do that years ago, okay? I will support you just like any other student. I'll ignore your tics and know that they are completely unintentional and uncontrollable. And if you have any accommodations, just say and I'll put them in place. And if you need any help, then just come to me. Thankfully, this is what most of my teachers have been like, which I'm really grateful for. A lot of my teachers have been lovely and amazing, and it's really important that a teacher is like that and doesn't ever punish a student for their tics and doesn't see the tics as intentional. It's really important that a teacher will put the support in place that a student needs and give them accommodations when needed. Get out. You should never send a student out for ticking because that is disability discrimination. It is no different to sending a student out just because they're in a wheelchair. We cannot control our tics and they are the symptom of a condition. If you swear in my class, I'm going to have to send you out and you're not allowed in until you stop. By saying that you will send us out of the classroom or not let us in the classroom for swearing, which is a symptom that some people with tics have, it's called coprolalia, again, is the disability discrimination. So it should not be tolerated. We should be allowed in the class just like everybody else, no matter how many swearing tics we have, and we should not be sent out for it because, again, it's discrimination. And this happened to me a couple of times, so it's really not good. Aren't you too young to have that? Nope, most people develop it when they're quite young. When I was in secondary school, I was 14 or 15, a teacher just came up to me and was like, aren't you too young to have Tourette's? That's the time before we knew I had PANDAS, but at the time it was just so, like, what? Most people do develop it when they're young. Where did they get that idea that young people can't have tics like that? What's wrong with you? You really should not yell what's wrong with you at a student or anyone. This happened in year 7. I was pretty much speechless though, so I didn't really reply. It was my friend that told them about my condition. But we had a substitute teacher and they just yelled, what's wrong with you, across the class. It was very bizarre. But if you're a teacher, do not do that. Excuse me, why is she yelling stuff and saying random things? What does she want? Sir, I can speak for myself. Infantilization is where people are treated as if they are younger than their age, and sometimes infantilization can include not talking to the person directly, but it can also sort of be like a person is afraid of talking to a person who has a disability. So sometimes it's like people are afraid to talk to us because we tic, so they just ask other people what we're doing and stuff. If you're a teacher, please don't do this. Just ask the person questions directly, whether that be questions about their condition or just general questions. I will nurture your talents and passions and I will help you thrive and give you confidence. Teachers that just help you develop your passions and talents and raise your self-esteem are like angels. I had 2 teachers like this who I remember. There was my year 4 teacher and a drama teacher in secondary school. They were amazing. They helped me with relaxation techniques. My year 4 teacher helped me with art, and he would let me come in break times and just do art to calm down. And they didn't let my condition stop me doing anything due to belief. Of course, conditions can stop you from doing things due to the effect of the condition, but if it's a belief that you can't do something that's holding you back, then they would support me to really not let that stop me. If you sit on your hands, it might help. Hum and it will stop. Humming and sitting on your hands can sometimes help redirect certain tics. They aren't a cure for tics. I know that this happened twice in exams, and in one of them I just started crying because I was thinking, I have been dealing with very severe tics for years. If humming could stop them altogether, then I wouldn't be where I am today. and I wouldn't have gone through all of the stuff. So quite a few times when I got sent out of class, or people said things like that, I would actually start crying because I was like, if it were that simple for me to stop, I would have stopped years ago. I know you're supposed to have a separate room for exams, but you see, we didn't have enough room, so now you're in with all these people and you're going to have to try and be quiet. Oh, it's so difficult when your accommodations don't get put in place. Thankfully, for most of the time, my accommodations were put in place, but there are some times where they might say there's not enough room for others, you need to share a room with others. And when you have tics, that is so difficult because you're always so worried about distracting others, but you cannot control your tics, and suppressing them is really harmful, especially when you're in an exam. You're not going to be able to focus on the exam if you're trying not to tic, because that's all you're focusing on. So yeah, that is a huge issue.